Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Shino, and we are back in our Modded to the Magical Max world. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Just a quick update on what's been happening between episodes. I've made some progress on the base defenses, starting a new fence and adding a couple of towers. Also, I've begun a few building projects to improve our living space and finished doing some terraforming to make our surroundings a bit more manageable and gathered more copper for our future projects. Of course, I've been continuing to practice and level up the magic skills as well. That's about it for now. Let's get into today's adventure, shall we? Today, we're diving into new dimensions of our magical abilities. We've been honing our spell for a while, and it's time to kick things up a notch. Let's explore how we can expand our magical repertoire. So grab your coffee, get cozy, and join me as we delve deeper into the captivating world of Rustbound magic. Oh, it's good to be home. So I've had a couple of vegetables growing over here, starting to get some soybeans. It looks like actually that one may be ready to go. Let's load this stuff up here. There we go. Let's see what we get here. And hey, look at that. We're getting some canned crop ratings. Cool. That's what I was hoping for. So there has been an update to the mod pack done. However, I'm not releasing it to the Discord channel just yet, but there are some new mods that have been added in. We'll talk about those briefly, but some of them are going to be a surprise. Some of them are kind of leading into the story of the series and of the season as I've got it laid out. So I don't want to give away too many hints just yet. I have been, between episodes, I did also get some wooden chests made up. So we've got a spot now, because this stuff, I was just getting way too much stuff and I needed it. And we'll go through that. I mentioned that in last episode. I'll show you how to do that. Also, we're going to show how to do this. I did go ahead and make some smoked fish, but we'll go through that process. I have been doing a lot of gathering missions, trying to pick up as much wood as possible. And as you saw from the intro there, we're going to be doing a lot of building with walnut. We need oak. We're going to need maple. That's three of the primary woods that we're going to be needing. We have a lot of redwood here, and we will be building with some redwood, but redwood seems to be one of those that just kind of, I don't know. It works. It works in some degrees, but for kind of the what I'm going for, it's not gonna be a really good wood to use. And let me know what you think about the walls. I've been tearing down these hills, knocking stuff down, actually starting on that one up there as well. Going to take this big hill behind us. It's going to come down right through here. And this area back here, probably going to knock this back some more. There's a big hole right back there that I don't want to cover up just yet, but I do want to get this area here because we're going to have a wall coming through here. I've been processing a little more copper, just trying to keep things as full as possible. I do have 9 ingots now. So each one of these ingots will make, each one of these will make will make 4 of the, oh, why has it got me back to hammer level 1? Ooh. I wonder if that's because I have updated a few mods. So you'll remember I was having some problems with the autocomplete. That's done. Got that fixed. Update there. But anyways, each time you do this, it will give you 4 of the nails and strips. Nails and strips, you need 1 for each chest that you make. So this is going to be enough to make 8 chests or 4 trunks. All right, so we've got that. We can now make our chest. You are going to need wood for this. So let's grab a few planks here. And so you need 8 pieces of wood to make one. So 2 of these get you 24 pieces of wood. That's enough for 3 chests. One, 2, and 3. You can make the trunks. You can put those back in there and make the trunk. If you put it in there one at a time, though, you can turn it into a sortable instead of just the normal wooden chest. This would be the vanilla chest. And it doesn't give you the capability of sorting. And by sorting, what I mean is I can come in here. There you go. I can click on that and I can sort. It'll reorganize the chest there. If you want a trunk, you put 2 different chests in there and that's going to form a trunk. And then you can put the trunk in there and turn it into a sortable one also. Difference between the trunk and the chest is the chest will hold 16. This will hold 36. And if you think about it, that's actually of benefit to you because 2 of these is 32. It's going to get you 4 extra spots. There is one more weapon that I would like to make. Let's go and look at the sling. There we go. Sling allow you to throw stones, which that can come in handy. All right, so we can go put the rope and the linen. Okay. Oh, it's got a trait behind it. Oh, I forgot I'm on a server. So it won't let me make it. That's okay. I am going to cheat that in. Let's go to HTM2. Let's grab a sling. And then 1 rope, throw that away, and 1 linen, throw that away. There we go. Now, will it let me use it? Yes, it will. Cool. All right, let me sleep this night, and we'll go out and use this. Oh, look at all those foxes down there. All right, so I've got an inventory full of these andesite stones. We use it as a projectile weapon. Here we go. Killed 1. And these things will skip off the ground too, so you don't have to, and like unlike an arrow where you have to like get them almost perfectly, you don't have to with these. And we got a lot of foxes in here. There we go. I think that makes pretty fast work of all the foxes that we had down in here. Oh, no, there's more. Look at them all. So I've already killed, gosh, so we can do a count. I've got 15 pelts and 14. If I recall, I had 1 that gave me 2 pelts. So that means I've killed 14, but I got 27 fat. That's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and demonstrate how then to smoke this meat. Unfortunately for that, if I recall to trust the meat, so I'm going to do H on that, and that will bring up the handbook. So we can use cordage and 4 pieces of meat. And I've got 15, so I'm 1 short of having 4. So maybe we should go get 1 more piece of meat. How about that? There you go. It should give me 4 trust pieces of meat. Open this thing up using your right mouse button. Hang the meat inside there, and it can put up to 4 in there at a time. Add some firewood to it, close it up, and then give it a light. Okay, that's going to go now. It takes a little bit. It's not too bad, though. But if you think about some of the food prep that you do, that's 16 pieces of meat that's being cooked over there right now using 4 pieces of firewood. That's pretty significant. I'm happy with that. All right, we're going to get started in doing a few more things with Rustbound Magic. And to do that, we're going to need a few items. Specifically, we're going to need to make another Nexus. Probably 2, and we don't have to, but I think that's something that I do want to do. So I'm going to set that up, and we'll do another one there. That's another Nexus. And then we're also going to need to make the Oculus Core, and we're going to need to make the Oculus Pedestal. All right, those are all cooking up. While they do, let's go ahead and go back into our Manual of Magical Arts. And what we're going to be dealing with in today's episode is we're going to shift our Nexus. So right now it is just a Nexus. It's generic. We want to be able to change it so that it has a different magical property to it. And for doing the shifting, you can change them to be either a light Nexus or a dark Nexus. And really the only difference between whether it's going to be a light Nexus or a dark Nexus comes from the fact of the time of day that we do the shift. So if we do the shift during the day, it's going to become a light Nexus. If we do the shift at night, it's going to become a dark Nexus. So we're going to need to make some mana stones. And let's go ahead and make 12 of those. And I'm noticing it's freezing quite often, actually. I'm going to have to check the conflicts between some of the mods here and see what actually is causing that. Let's go ahead and make our mana stones. There's 12 of them. And I have been putting some neutral mana in here by burning the temporal fragments. And we're going to go ahead and grab probably... I want to keep it kind of close because we're going to be breaking this, and I can't remember if it keeps it or not. So let me take a few minutes, make my mana torches, keep this thing full, and let these cook up. And when we're done, we'll come back and start doing the shifting. One more thing I want to make here. Let's go ahead and make a shield. I think that'll be a wise thing to do. We can't make the metal shields yet. We have copper, but you need to get at least bronze to be able to make the other shields, because you got to make the boss loop, or the hoop, sorry. We don't have that stuff yet. And the way it works is, you know, let's see, I've got my sword here. If I hold shift, the shield comes up, and that allows me to block. See how close we are to having this done. I think what we'll do is we'll start getting everything else set up for the shift. I think we can do one shield. Like, we can go ahead and shift this one is what we can do. Where are we at? We got 12. Cool. And we've got 8 more pieces there. So let's go ahead and get 2 more rusty dust. I guess 2 more mana stones. Yeah. Let's throw those in there. I want to use up all of that mana that we have in there already. All right, let's take a look at what we're going to be dealing with. We are going to be going through and doing some of the creation arrays. And so each one of these kind of lays out and it calls it something else. So this is the arcanus. We go to the next one, you've got elemental crystals. So this is the formation you need for the elemental crystals. Kind of gives you a picture there. You go back one, looks very similar, but it gives you the different kind of, you know, forms of what it's going to be. You also have one for making runestones. We're going to have to go through the process of making some runestones for this. Here we have a way of making obsidian if we want to from flint. And then as you get into more advanced, the magic tier 2 stuff, you'll be able to make a new element, a new metal from this. Okay, so we're going to be going through the creation stuff. We're also going to be doing the shifting one. So this is where we're primarily going to have to be at. To do the shifting, again, we're going to put the nexus in the middle. We're going to put the runes all around it, and then use the mana torches, and then we'll cast transmutation on it. All right, so as we can see, we're going to need a 5x5 area for doing this. And we're going to put this in the center like that. And then one space around on the 4 cardinal directions will be blank. And then we're going to do everything else around there will be set up as normal. So you're going to take your chalk. So you're going to skip that spot and you're going to do that one. Right? Skip that spot and do that one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is our 5 spots. Same thing here. Same thing here. Now we're going to fill in all the area around this, except for the corner. There we go. And now on each corner, we're going to put a mana torch. And that is our finished shifting world magic, sorry. What's it called? World magic for shifting array. Okay? So this is going to turn this into a light nexus. We'll do the transmute on it. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? And the really neat thing about this is during the daylight, it's going to start building up an internal buffer into it. So once we put the runes around it and it turns on, during the daylight hours, it will begin to generate the eternal light mana that's coming into it, which is really cool. And we're going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and activate this thing here. outdoors. And we'll set it just like that. So now that is turned on. You can see the essence flowing out of it. And what we should start seeing here pretty soon is this will start building up. Now that thing's pretty slow. So the next thing that we need to do is we're going to go into the creation side of it, and we're going to need to make a rune stone. But before we can make the rune stone itself, we're going to have to end up making a engraved mana stone. Just sitting here realizing that I had picked up my rust blooms and I never replanted them. Let's go ahead and get these going. So we're going to need to make 4 of the engraved runestones, which means we're going to need 16 then, because we need 4 mana stones per each one. So we're going to need 16 of the rusty dust. And then we're going to take and put those 4 like that, and that's going to get us our 4 mana stone. And what did we do with the chisel? Didn't we make a chisel? We made a chisel. I was going to say, I know I had to have made a chisel. All right, there we go. 4 engraved runestones. All right, now what we're waiting for is get off there, for the light mana to build up. And we got enough for 2 mana torches right now. So we got to wait to be able to get 4 of them. So actually, we're going to need to wait for more than that, because we're going to need to do several of these. We need to do 4 of them, and we need 4 mana torches per. Ew, yeah. So we're going to do 16 mana torches total. All right, I'll be back. While that thing's waiting, look at all the rifts that have formed. Holy cow, you can see there's a couple that have formed way back over in there too. It's causing the rift blooms to form. That's crazy. I'm hoping I can find a few more. I really don't need any more of the flowers, but I would love to get a few more of the stones. That would be perfect. All right, I'm kind of hanging out here waiting for some stuff to finish up. Now the light nexus won't gain any light mana during the night when it's dark. So we're definitely going to sleep through this night. But what I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep leveling my wand. So we can get closer to getting close to tier 2. If you don't know, you can go into the config file and you can change the value that's needed to move to the next level. Max is 2, which would be like 200 or 2x, x2, whatever. It's a lot. It's a lot of mana points you have to get. And it already takes a lot of mana to be able to get. I think I've got this set up now so that when I get to level 20 on my mana, I'll be able to move to tier 2. We're not to the point yet where we can move to tier 2, but I know that just to be able to get some of the next gear that we need to get our mana up to 25 to be able to use the armor that comes with Rustbound magic. So while I'm waiting for everything else to go, I'm going to sit here and continue to level my spells and see if I can get my mana up. All right, we've got everything we need. Let's go ahead and make a second nexus and our third Nexus. Now, playing this, you don't have to create a whole bunch of different Nexus. I'm doing this for a particular reason. It's something that I kind of strategized on a long time ago when I first was kind of planning this series out. So don't feel like you have to create 3 Nexus like I'm doing. I want to do this because you're going to see here shortly what my plan is. We are close to probably close to daylight. I don't think we're not quite there yet. We're going to go out here in just a minute and kind of get everything set up. We need to get another one of these. We're going to shift both of these. We're going to shift one to light and one to dark. We'll do one of the light ones here momentarily once the sun comes back up. And hopefully we'll be to the point where we can start making our runestones also. And we'll have to build up on these runestones. It's going to take us a little bit to kind of build up. And, some people have said, hey, during the series, man, it'd be nice to see magic in every episode. I'm telling you, it takes a lot to be able to level Rustbound magic. It's not a quick one. You see that we're up to 20 mana. It's taking, 12 casts, I think, to level. And the more mana that you get, of course, the more it takes that you're going to have to recover. And so there's a lot that goes into it. You only can do so many spells on a wand. So like this is my third makeshift staff that I've done so far in this series. So it does take a lot to get through the different levels of Rustbound magic. So we'll get there. We'll get these going as fast as we can. But yeah, don't think for any instance that any scope of the imagination that you're going to be able to blast your way through Rustbound magic just in a matter of days. All right, we should be fully daytime. I went ahead and set up the second one because we're going to be shifting it at night. So we're going to go ahead and do this one though, and this should give us our second light nexus. Perfect. And we're going to go ahead and put 8 mana stones in there and let it start building up also. This will kind of speed up a little bit also. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do 2 light ones first, is we can kind of speed up the process of getting our mana torches that we need. Typically, I would not do this, but we're going to go ahead and use some of the fat that we've gotten to make an oil lantern, an oil lamp. And we're going to start placing now here. I've got a candle here, so it's going to put a little bit of light out. I'm just going to set this out probably like right here. This just to kind of help light up a little more of this area as we progress. Now, like I said, it's going to turn into the home. It's not going to be a yard or anything. This is actually going to be a house once we're all done with it. But we need to kind of get some of this stuff put together for what we're going to be doing. Let me have those 2 light torches and give me 9 of those. There we go. How many more we got? We got 7 more in there and 6 more in there. That's 13. Cool. That'll work. Let's go ahead and start on another part of this. And this is under the creation. We are going to be doing the arcanus. So again, we're going to need another 5x5 area for this. And what we're going to be doing is we need to make the lesser arcanus is what we need to make. I think that's what's called, lesser arcanus. But anyways, we're going to need a 5x5 area, right? So there's 1, 2. So we'll do like right there. That'll be it. And then for the, we're going around it, it's going to be just off on the edges with the chalk. So we're going to go out 1, 2, and then it'll be there. Like that. Should be what we need. And then we're going to do, I don't want to do all of these, but I would like to do at least 8. I think 8 would be a good number for us to do. And if I remember, I think we can do these all at the same time like this. We're going to find out. Yes, we did. Cool. So there is our 4 pieces of lesser arcanus. Now do realize that every time you do one of these spells, everything that's in here besides the item that you're transmuting is going to be destroyed. So, you know, when I was talking about, hey, I'm going to need X number of light mana torches, that's just to get, you know, the stuff made for what we're going to be doing. That doesn't include, you know, anything else that we're going to be doing. So as we add on to these, we're going to have to create more of these. So yeah, rusty fibers, or not rusty fibers, the rusty dust, definitely something you want to get a lot of. That's why having these rift blooms seeds is like really, really important. All right, let's see if we can make our runestones. So again, under creation, we're going to go to the runestone, creation array runestone, and that's for making the lesser. Each step that you move up requires a better form of arcanus to make the greater, superior, and the celestial. So each step that goes, it's taking 2 of the one previous to be able to make it. So that means if it's 2 times 2, there's 4 times 2, that's 8 times 2, that's 16. So to get to the point that you can make 1 celestial arcanus, you're going to need 16 of the temporal fragments to get to that point. Okay, so temporal fragments are something that you don't want to waste too much of. So that's why I tried to minimize the amount that I was burning to get us to this point, so that I can now not have to use the temporal fragments to create additional mana torches. So now let's get this made. Again, we're going to need a 5x5 area. So that is going to be that. And since it's a shifting array, it's going to be almost the exact same thing that we just did. Like that. Difference now being is that we're going to need to put mana torches on each side of it. And then we're also going to have to throw in 4 arcanus in there. So each one of these is going to require 4 arcanus. So let's now do the mana torches. And now 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we cast transmutation. And there we go. There is our lesser runestone. And I got to do this 3 more times, but it's going to take it's going to take a little while before I'm at the point where I can make all 4 of these. So let's hop back in here for a moment. So now with this lesser runestone here, I can go ahead, does it need to go up 2? Let's see, shift. If you hold shift while you're looking at it, it shows you where everything's supposed to go. So yeah, it goes up 2. So I'm going to hop up here. Here we go. In our quest to find more of the temporal fragments, let's go ahead and kind of seed another one of these temporal rifts, and we're going to see if we can get any more of those little crystals like that one right over there. See? Now, we don't get a guarantee that we're going to get one of the drops off of it, so we're just kind of hopeful at this moment. There's one. And there's another one. Okay, we should be able to cast this now to get our Dark Nexus. So here we go. Sweet. All right, Dark Nexus. What does it do? Unlike the Light Nexus, which works, during the daylight hours and it collects from the skylight and turns that into mana for us, the Dark Nexus doesn't work that way. The Dark Nexus actually works by taking the life essence from mobs that move within it. So we're going to go ahead and turn that thing on. So now any drifters that happen to wander past this thing at night, they'll be trapped by this nexus and they'll have their life essence drained out of it. And that life essence then will turn into the mana that we need for making the dark mana torches. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to put those in there. I'm going to leave those out. We're going to need more of the light ones. We've got 6 more there. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 more in here. We'll do all 7. There we go. And I'm going to let this one continue to just build up its normal without converting any more of this over. It's getting dangerous out here. Okay, so let's head inside. We're going to let this kind of go tonight. And we'll see in the morning what we get from it. I want to bring you inside because I think I may need some stuff from you. And put you over there for a second. But your soybean, you're done. Come with me. Cool. And that says it's dry from moisture. It's raining. How can you be dried up? That's 55%. We'll go ahead and water you too. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Hey there, everybody. After a long day of spell casting and exploring, nothing beats kicking back and chatting with like-minded folks. If you're looking for a laid-back place to share your vintage story adventures, or just talk about games in general, why not join us over at the Shino Gaming Discord community? We're a friendly bunch, always ready to welcome new faces. And don't worry, if you're not a Discord pro, we're all learning together. Just click the link below and come say hello. We'd love to hear about your magical mishaps and triumphs. To keep feeding temporal fragments and dust into the Nexus for mana, it's not productive. By converting the Nexus to light or dark allows for an auto magic mana gen that we can use to fuel other magical devices. So let's see, did anything get in our trap last night? Nope, it didn't. So what'll happen is if a mob will come by inside the little 5x5 area, it'll get attached to the Nexus. And as it tries to leave the area, it'll get teleported back to it. It's kind of cool to watch, but it'll pop up on top and it'll just start draining its life essence and turning it into the dark mana here. So nothing got into it last night, but I have a plan. My thought is to have several of these set up and to use it to kind of guard and protect things coming into our area. So possibly like using it for a mob farm type thing, have a spawner for a storm shelter for where mobs to spawn, and they come wandering towards me, but then they drop in and there's a nexus there's a nexus, a dark nexus there that then takes them. Now it only works at night. So, it's not something that we can have it running all the time or if it's just, without the sun going. I think it just has to be at night. But I'm also thinking, eventually we'll have a gate right here. And so we could end up setting a couple of those dark nexus, like right inside the gate. So if anything were to try to come, wander around to try to get inside here, when it comes by, they'll get trapped. And we can use it to farm mana that way too. I think that would be kind of cool. Just taking a quick run around to see if I can find some more rust bloom flowers. We're going to need a lot of the dust. So we're going to travel around here and see if we can find some extras. While we're waiting for everything to bloom from our seeds planted back at our home base. So let's take a quick evaluation on where we are with Rustbound Magic. So we're still at tier 1. We've got our mana up to 23 mana. We need to get it to 25 before we can start wearing like any of the robes or anything that comes along that we can create. But to create those, we're going to have to get to the Oculus. To get to the Oculus, we're going to have to make a core, and we're going to have to make the pedestal. Pedestal is going to require 4 lesser arcanus all by itself. And the Oculus core is going to require 4. So there's 8. So that means to get that 8, we're going to need 16 temporal fragments. Keep that in mind. We're also going to need the Eldrithium nuggets, which we can make. I believe we can do this. I think we can do this at tier 1. If I'm thinking about this correctly, I think we can do this at tier 1. And if that's the case, then we can make these now. We're just going to need 2 temporal fragments per each one. So we need 8. That'd be another 16 that we're going to need. So yeah, we're going to need a lot of temporal fragments. And then also we're going to need 4 more for this rune, and this rune. So there's 3 more runes there. So there's another 12 times 2. There's another 24 temporal fragments. We're going to need a lot of temporal fragments, and I'm not quite in a good position. I've only got 15. And the other part of it is we're running out of rusty dust, which we're going to need rusty dust if we want to convert like this over to temporal fragments. So what does that all mean? What am I saying? Well, I wanted to get the Oculus done in this episode. We're not going to get the Oculus done in this episode. That's probably going to be maybe 2 or 3 more episodes down the road before we get to the point of making the Oculus. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to use this time wisely to farm as many of the Rift Blooms seeds that I can here to get a lot of rusty dust. And then I'm going to go around and feed some of the temporal rifts as they form to start throwing in some of the stones to get more of the elementals that we can then turn into temporal fragments. And then also, working my way through the night to see if we can then kill some drifters and see if we get some more temporal fragments that way. Yeah. So let me talk also about how the series is going to progress. So there is, we're doing this magic and fantasy thing with this map. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to add a little bit of lore to this. And so that's why I've kind of decided that some of the mods that we're going to be using throughout the entire series, we're going to be adding mods to the mod pack as we go along. But I did not want certain elements of this next mod that we're going to be introducing in the next episode. I didn't want any elements of that to start showing up yet in the game. So new mod, next episode, we're going to have a new mod that we're going to be talking about, but we're also going to be doing some other stuff. It's time for us to kind of get into some farming and start bringing in some animal husbandry. So I noticed there's some pigs back over there, some chickens over there. We need to get them gathered up so that we can start to kind of build our own little home and farmstead over here. Okay. All right. I've created a little teaser for the next episode, so that's going to show next before we do our normal outro. But thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino. If you don't get to, watch the trailer for the next episode now, but it's also going to be going out as a YouTube short, so you can catch it. So do me a favor, go whenever these videos come out, when you see the short, when you go ahead and click like on it, share it, whatever, so it gets out there to more people. And I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, folks, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino. Enjoy the clip, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care. The old trader saw me cast a spell yesterday. He brought me a book. It told about the old days, the days before the rust. There was a story about a mage who tried to fracture the veil between worlds. With the veil broken, something awoke. Something terrible. And with it came death.